Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to what is probably going to be the spiciest week of this week's spicy roundup. But before we get started, before we do anything, what I do need to do is I need to do one thing. I'm just going to play this in the background. Let's just get this going. Okay, and while I do that, I'm just going to make sure that I share my screen because it's important. There we go. So we've got a bit of somber music going on in the background, and welcome to this week because this somber music is playing basically because of me. Because unfortunately, yes, I have lost a bet, and I am going to be drinking hot sauce. It's going to be a sad time, but not this week. Hot sauce is going to be planned. I'm probably going to go on GSP to drink some hot sauce. So while we have some sad music going on in the background, shall we introduce Connor and Liam? Hello again.
Good evening, Ollie.
Bonjour. How are we?
I mean, I'm doing okay. Honestly, I could be worse. I'm sad about Canada, but more importantly, we have a new thing this week. Look at it. It's so pretty. We've got the thing, and I think honestly, that is enough of that.
So, do we have a brief chat about what sort of hot sauce it is? I mean, I know there's been a fair amount of audience participation in that regard.
I think so. But I think, well, I have found that my pizza place down the road does a pizza that is like three different brands of chilies and ghost peppers on it, plus chili sauce. So what I might do is I might like have a slice of that pizza every time I get a question wrong on GSP or something. So we'll work it out. But regardless, hi, hello, and welcome back to what honestly this week has been utter nonsense, and I'm super excited to go through it. It should be really quite fun because, oh man, I mean, do any of you guys feel like there is a good summary of this week? Like, what would you say a good summary of this week has been?
I'd say this week has pretty much been a ballroom brawl.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with they rise.
Yeah,
And
actually.
they rise. How do they rise? They rise feet up.
Yes. I mean, oh man, it's been a week, and I'm slightly concerned. Because if the Danish football team is anything to do, see, I was just baiting to see if anyone would react to it, but no, you guys are good this week. Seriously, shout out to Norway. Norway have been amazing.
We are going to have to spend a little bit of time on Norway.
We are. So yeah, it's going to be a good one. Have we started
just a
recently?
quick one.
He's just
Sorry,
there every
yeah.
time.
As a goal, we have just started.
We have just started. I mean, every time. I feel like it's just like we do this. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Right, let's get ourselves warmed up. Let's get ourselves going because we have some stuff to talk about this week. This week has been utter nonsense and it's been great. So where do we want to start this week?
I think we should probably return to A through E.
Okay.
Because we have broken stream and Sith Takers broke stream, and it's kind of cherry picking.
Yeah, it is, and it gets a bit confusing. So, right, let's get this off. And let's get on to here. So, matches. Shall we start off with the biggie?
The one that I am so happy about, not because I wanted Italy to come down, but I want Norway, who are currently sitting 2-4, but two of their wins are Italy and Poland.
I know. So, what amazes me, this is incredible because Norway turned into the Kingmakers and then immediately just went, "Nah, we do you one better," and just leveled the entire group. Because
yep.
Have they played Singapore
Norway.
yet?
No, I think their last one
no.
is. Now, I did look all of this up, so I don't want to get it wrong before I get. But I think Norway. Oh, Norway did. Sorry, Norway lost to Singapore round 1.
Yeah, Norway have Malaysia and Brazil next 2 rounds.
God damn it! I really thought I was prepped this week.
Yeah.
Yes. So the reason I thought they were prepped is they have 2 easy runs. No offense, Malaysia or Brazil, but they have 2 easier runs.
Yes.
They can catch up.
They can. Although I'm basically at 10 o'clock ish. I'm going to be commentating on Malaysia's first game versus Norway, so I'm totally not biased. I think it's Louis playing, so I'm going to be totally biased, as he is my squad mate.
There's not a huge amount of Norway have only got 19 wins, but the scout collection is enormous.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Norway, no matter what happens, I mean, Norway can basically just drive off into the sunset at this point because they have done what, in my opinion, I wasn't expecting anyone to do, which is beat two giants in the group stage. I was expecting maybe one to get a lucky win, but good job, Norway. You deserve praise.
Now let's look and see what round 6 looks like for them, right? Italy plays Singapore. One of those two giants loses.
Yep.
Round 7, Italy plays Poland.
Yep.
One of those two giants
do you
loses.
know what I want to happen? This is what I want to happen. Because if Italy beat Singapore, then every single one of those teams is has lost a game. Because Poland and Italy
and Norway have lost 2.
Hmm?
Poland and Norway have lost 2.
That's a good point. That's a good point. So
but Singapore is pretty unassailable at this point.
This is why I want this situation to happen. Because what will happen if Italy beats Singapore is that Poland have the ability to roll into the last round and then beat Italy. And then it's Italy and Poland fighting on game wins to see who wins.
And Norway, it's going to be a hell of a struggle up, but you can do it. You can do if you can go at 12-13 wins in the next 2 rounds. It's doable. It's as doable as Ireland. So
I mean, it's going to be interesting. Dodo,
am I right in saying?
Sorry, go on then.
That there is some form of timeline where we see Singapore and Norway go through and knock out Italy and Poland.
It is possible. It is now possible.
If what's going to have to happen? So if Italy get beaten by Singapore,
yep,
solidly beaten.
Yeah, very much solidly beaten, and then Italy go and because what would that leave Italy on? That would leave Italy on 2 losses.
Yep.
And then Italy go and spank Poland and leave Poland on 3. Or no, actually they have a really close fight against Poland. Who has the higher game difference? I think Poland has the lower game difference.
So Poland is on 25 and Italy is on 28.
Okay, yeah, so for this to happen, for Norway to get through, what has to happen is that Italy need to get smashed by Singapore. To be fair, it doesn't actually matter what happens. Yeah, no, Italy do need to lose to Singapore because Italy have the high game difference. Because that will put them on 3 losses at the end of this. Then
Norway needs Singapore to just keep dominating.
Poland needs to just beat Italy, only just. They need to beat Italy 4-3, get the minimum amount of wins. And then in Norway needs to go on 7-0 someone in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, because Italy's last 2 rounds are Singapore-Poland. Now, we know we've been talking Italy really high up the whole way through this, but they just lost their first challenge.
I know. So this is
and the challenges get worse at this point.
This is interesting. So I mean, Italy now have their 2 big weeks, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Oh, by the way, for those of you in the chat, I'm going to be ignoring anything that's happened so far this week. That is saved for this Sunday's standard thing. I am unaware of any games that have happened so far, and I'm going to keep it that way because I think for this hour and a half, it's as if it's just shifted from Monday. I know that there is a few games that have happened, but I've kept myself relatively ignorant. So I haven't quite seen the Italy versus... I haven't quite seen the end of the Italy versus Singapore game because the Resistance versus Resistance match was insane. I got to about 15 minutes from the end and it was looking ridiculously close.
And they have not put it on the system yet anyway.
They have not. So I'm looking forward to talking about that later. Anyway, so that's game 1 of the week. Game 2 of the week is Poland versus Brazil. And again, are Poland going to keep on falling flat? That is an option.
Let's be honest. If there are big upsets in these rounds, then there are 4 teams shooting for top. The first one who falls over falls out of the race.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, look at this. Poland-Brazil 3-4. Poland only just won that one.
I mean, I saw a bit of, I think it was the deciding game between Norway and Poland. And there were some comments from some people saying that the Polish, who's it playing? Was it Trey?
Trej.
No. No, it's
But
not.
whoever
It's
it was, they were playing
oh,
against Ray,
Mm.
and Ray was just taking bits out of everyone. It was a bit rude.
Oh no,
Uh,
that was last week's. That was the
oh, that was last week.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was horrible. That was the 200-0. Like I felt really bad for. No, sorry, that was yeah, it was. I felt really bad for Poland because they'd essentially already lost because Ray into that Jedi list was pretty much a just a smack. Like the Jedi are never going to win that game. It was
Fabian. I will take you as commentator in any game I ever do.
we love
For the rest
Fabi.
of time. For the
Fabi
rest
is
of time.
amazing.
Just for your
I
voice.
would, I would actually like to be adopted by Fabian.
Despite the fact that when you were told that Ireland was expected to get out of the group, your response was, "Really?" I'm still very fond of you.
Hey, Fabi might be a savant at this point, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh,
Um, Funwalk is out of the country and nobody wants me as a co-commentator. We would love you as a co-commentator, Fabi. We
Screw Funwalk. I mean, Funwalk has said lovely things about me, and I'm happy and I like him for that. But if he doesn't want you as a co-commentator and he's just decided to leave the country to do this, then I hate him.
In fairness, he has got the second best voice in X-Wing.
Yes.
Team Fabi. Team
Right.
Fabi.
So we then had Greece versus the Czech Republic, which apparently still hasn't been entered, which is frustrating. That
We
should
knew where that was going anyway.
that should have been well. It's 2-3 on the challenge. Did Czech Republic win?
Probably.
I don't know.
I'm gonna go with maybe. If one of you guys could check that out on the that's fine. I'll do it on the side. And then what else did we have? We had let me just get
Fabi has the best voice. Funwalk is the second best voice.
All right. So where are we? We also have Malaysia, Singapore, and sorry, Malaysia. That one hurt.
Singapore are getting through challenges, though.
Yeah,
I think we have to accept that Singapore are in. At least I'm saying it.
yeah,
Now,
6-1.
their next round is Italy, but they've dealt with Poland, and they've got Czech Republic, so they're going to finish 6-1 at the very
they're
least. I think.
5-0. I can't see them losing to the Czech Republic. I mean, their game difference isn't amazing.
No,
But-
it's not. They're fighting hard for every round. No, sorry, that's not be reasonable.
Yeah.
Their game difference is not amazing in this group,
True.
but 24 is still exceedingly respectable.
True.
Yeah.
I
that is-
think,
that's very, I mean, go on. Sorry.
I'm more thinking that essentially because Norway has beaten Italy and Poland, if Singapore fall flat on their face against the Czech Republic, because they've still got to beat Italy, and Italy can come out swinging and just flatten them.
But they can lose to Italy
They can't, yeah.
as long as they
and
beat the Czech
that's-
Republic.
And that's the thing. They're allowed to lose to Italy as long as they beat the Czech Republic. So realistically, Singapore don't care about anything but their last week. And the Czechs, you can be kingmaker here. If you
Yeah.
come out and if Singapore loses this week, then maybe they don't get through. Maybe Italy and Poland, all is forgiven, and it goes back to what it's. Yeah, it's all a big mess. But I think the big takeaway from Group A is that Singapore have come to play. There are arguments about the tail, and I know XY keeps on mentioning it on every single thing that they say. That how long's the tail? But it seems as if Singapore have got good quality. I'm really curious to see what happens this week against Italy.
Regardless of whatever their tail is, they're prepping it correctly, and they're
Yes.
taking the wins.
Yeah, for sure.
Singapore have a great advantage because the captain they have, XY, is a fantastic player, isn't he?
Mm.
And he's done the pairing process in how many team tournaments for how long, and that's clearly coming to light.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I don't make solid predictions, but Singapore are going through.
I think so. They're stacking the deck the right way. They're making sure they get their good players into the good games. The question is, can they keep on doing that? I'm really curious to see how Singapore enter finals. I think they're going to enter finals very strong if this group is anything to go by. So I could see Singapore being top 5 this year.
Three horse race for second or first, but Singapore takes first or second. I'm not going to say taking first because their game possession can be overtaken quite easily.
This is absolutely the 3-horse race it was at the start. It's just now we're in the final 2 stretches and it's got really interesting.
And Norway has entered the race, albeit from the back door.
Hey, Judy. Right. Hello, Poland. So should we look at Group B then? Let's have a
Absolutely.
look at Group B. So Group B started off with a nice gentle one. And it looked gentle, and then this happened. Fair play, New Zealand. again, making Germany look a little bit weak and wobbly. 4-3.
This is Germany.
I watched the games, right?
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention the players again, but New Zealand came out really, really strong and then tilted really hard. I went from dominating the win to scraping the win against honestly one of the best players I've ever played against and one of the most charismatic Germans on planet Earth. But they had dominating it and then nearly threw it.
Yes.
3 very poor engages.
And
then picked it up in the last 2 turns.
I don't know. One of the biggest surprises for me in this is Germany. Because I know, yes, their record is what you'd expect, but not the way they've got it. They really haven't. And maybe this is we're making sure we're okay for finals and we're not putting too much pressure on, and they'll turn around and do the normal thing of just winning everything. But we'll see. I'm not impressed by Germany.
I think they tilted that round.
I think they've tilted for the last few rounds. I mean, look, 3-4 Lithuania, 3-4 New Zealand. Where are the Germanys?
You're quite right there. They have very few dominations on this track.
There are no 6-1s from Germany. The best they've got are 5-2s.
Well, that's a very respectable gentlemanly score to have at your top, boy.
It is, but I don't know.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. We're not going to ignore Peru.
Yeah. Considering the quality of that German team, I think the fact that they haven't 6-1 anyone is surprising. But
they
again,
are
maybe
serious shit list though.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's the way that they've done their lists and their pairings.
I think they've taken weaker lists, relying on player skill, knowing that they go to the finals with more competitive lists that people won't see coming.
Yeah, that's true. All right.
I don't agree with that. I think it's a certain amount of arrogance, and I think they're being punished for it. If they get out, you're going to see a complete flip in the finals.
Yeah,
it will be unexpected. It'll be every one of those players taking their "I'm famous for" following lists.
Yes, and it's going to be if it's broke, we're using it, as opposed to if it's broke, don't fix it.
Correct.
Now, I think this is a big one. Just going to zoom in on it because I feel really bad for Scotland, but also shout out to Iceland. Taking some scalps.
Big up Iceland.
Sorry, Scotland.
I could have played for Scotland.
You are now gone. Scotland are out. There is no way of them getting through. So yeah, rip Scotland. Good job, Iceland, picking up some scalps. And then we have Peru, South Africa. I mean, that's an oof. Good job, Peru.
Except look at Peru. Okay, Peru are currently showing as tied against Ukraine. They're 1-1. I know we're ignoring that.
Yes.
Peru are the only other 5-0 on this board.
They are indeed.
Now, we had this chat at length last week, so we don't need to go back over it. If you weren't listening from Peru, go back and listen to last week's. We were not sleeping on Peru.
Nope.
We were discussing South America in the first 2 weeks. We were very clear Peru were good in the third week, and we were exceedingly pro-Peru in the fourth.
Yep. I want to know how good Peru is.
They're getting out.
They're getting out.
They've done really well at the list building stage.
I really want to know how good Peru is in terms of, all right, if you put them in a cage fight, because we've been talking for a little while. We were completely underestimating Peru at the start, and I'm gonna tone down the excitement for a second, and Peru is probably gonna come out and shout at me again, but it's fine. We were talking at the start about how this group was basically Germany were coming first and who was going to come second, because Germany was the clear top and everyone else we didn't really know, and it was a question of, okay, is Scotland going to turn up as they should? Is South Africa going to turn up with the people that we know? And Peru just wasn't in the conversation because we didn't know anything about them. Now, clearly, they've come in, they've done really well, and if this holds on what we were saying, and that Germany is underperforming, right? That
is 100% unquestionably true.
Yeah, so Germany is definitely underperforming. If Germany is underperforming and there isn't a powerhouse in this group, then have we really tested Peru yet?
And the reality is you're completely right, because they are getting out. So we will find out very quickly.
Yeah. So this is one of the things I'm most excited for, and I said this last time, but I'm super excited. What
Can
group
I
is
just
first entry?
circle
That is a
back?
very good question. I'm actually I wanna hold that one. I wanna see like what is the best quality group. I think for the quality of the top end, Group A for sure. With having Italy, Poland, and Singapore in the top end of one group, I think that is probably the strongest. Um, what about the highest average?
I think we go through the five and come back to that question because
Yeah,
I've got a few
yeah.
queries of my own about that. I also
We'll
would
talk
like
about
to
that
repeat
later.
back to I'm aware of what Ollie said. We didn't know anything about Peru. Was bombarded with information about Peru after week one, and every other South American team said these fuckers dominate down here. Watch
Yes,
out.
yes. So this is what I want to see is that because this is what I've been excited for the whole tournament is that okay, I know the level of America. I know the level of Europe. I've been playing around those two zones and time zones for a very, very long time. I don't get much game time against the Aussies, against the other oceanic teams like Singapore. I don't get much game time against the South Americans. So come on, bring it. Like, let's see how they stack up against the big boys.
Let's point out the 27 wins,
Mhm.
which is also, regardless of group strength, compared to Germany's 19, very impressive.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So let's see it. I want to see Peru bring it in finals.
Can I just circle back to Scotland a second?
Yes.
Uh, so I'm in one of the group chats with one of the Scottish players,
Yes.
and he did say, and I don't know how mathematically true this is, but if they beat Germany,
Mhm.
he said he can still qualify. They can still finish second in the group.
Interesting.
Let's have a look and see if that's true.
Well, let's just very quickly deal with Lithuania, Ukraine, which was the last pair up of this week. Where is it? Oh,
Yep, sorry.
I've lost it. Lithuania, LTU. Where's it gone? There we go. Lithuania stomped on Ukraine. Was kind of expecting it. It's kind of hard to rate Group B. I don't know. Everyone's beaten everyone. I'm not really sure. Okay, so let's go to standings. Scotland is 2 and 3.
They are mathematically capable of making it, you're correct.
Mathematically,
But
yes.
I am also mathematically capable of marrying Meghan Markle in 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's fair. So yeah, we have to ignore the fact that Lithuania is technically down against who are they playing this week? Lithuania are playing against South Africa. So South Africa should actually be on 1 and 4 because they starting this week.
Ixador,
Yeah.
completely correct.
Yes. So Iceland beats Germany and then Scotland beats Germany. So there is a world, yes, in which Germany doesn't just stomp the last 2 rounds. You are correct. And based on what we were saying, maybe that's a thing. But I tell you what, if they haven't woken up yet, they're bloody well going to wake up if they get beaten by Iceland. So
Yeah.
I do think they're relying on player skill, but they have got the player skill.
yes. So I'm
It's a
curious.
good thing to rely
I
on
think
when you've
that
got it.
Lithuania are more. Who are Lithuania playing this week? Lithuania are playing South Africa. Who's more likely to do it? I mean, if we're going on
South
3
Africa. You
2s,
wreck me every time game I watch you.
yeah.
It's like 60% of flawless flying followed by what the fuck was that?
Glorious. I mean, at the moment, on game wins, it looks as if Lithuania are in the best shot of going through. Right? So, yeah, that's I think we've got our 2 winners for Group B. I think Group B is basically said and done.
I mean, Peru came here to prove something. Consider it proved.
Yeah.
And I 100% am signing off on them. I'm also going to sign off on Germany with a little more reluctance.
Yeah, I think the
I'm
fact that
really
Peru
happy
has
with-
27 game wins, no one is coming close to them on game wins in the next 2 rounds. So because of that, they are almost automatically through. Even if they lose the next 2 rounds,
They're
They-
playing the
they're
Ukraine
gonna go
and they're
through.
playing Lithuania. They've got through all of their top
Yeah.
runs in this.
like even if they lose, they're going to win a couple of games, which is going to basically put them on 30 something. They're not going to lose in game wins.
No, they're more likely finishing 7-0.
Yes.
But any given Sunday,
Yep.
Norway came back to prove. don't count your chickens.
Absolutely.
Like I will say, out of this group, my favourite thing is that Peru have come top. because it's a team that were a relatively unknown quantity to the entire
Anywhere
European
that is
scene.
not South America.
Yeah, and I mean the Americans, that region should have had more of an inkling how good they were. But obviously, that's not our audience at the moment, is it? We are talking to a more European scene,
This is
so they
true.
were relatively unknown.
This is
And the fact that they're coming through, it's really good to see, and it does makes the XTC a little bit special.
It does. Right, let me, because I was going to do it as well, I was just going to check out who won the, where we go, rounds. Team ladder, who won out of, oh, no, it's actually Group A, isn't it? Is Greece.
Hmm.
Because I know that Greece is playing Poland this week. But that's fine, yeah. I was trying to find things and it was pinging me, which is probably about as expected. Oh,
Because
sorry,
the X-Wing
Greece.
is our friend Greg, who is a little bit closer to that part of the world than
Yep.
we are.
Greece unfortunately did lose, so yeah, they went.
We called it.
They went 4-3.
Oh. My last round of my GSP last week was against a South American Brazilian player who's knocked me out twice before. So personally, I wasn't sleeping in South Americans.
I'm gonna stop Connor from like jumping the bit, but it seems like people keep on missing the bit where we say we are aware that we think Peru is quite good. But
Yep.
apparently everyone likes to jump in the chat and say, "Oh, we told you that Peru is like." Yes, we spent literally 3 weeks talking about how everyone told us Peru was good. It's fine.
I will
Shush,
take my
shush.
admonishment and sit back down.
Anyway, shall we talk about the Group C?
I really don't want to.
Yeah, it's fine. So
Group C is a.
first of all, fair play to Canada and Rathos is bad. I think that's the summary, right?
I mean,
That's,
whoever takes a meme list into an XTC, they
it's
deserve to lose, right?
fine.
I'd like
It's
to point out I'm playing
fine.
Wraith tomorrow, so I'm going to systematically remove myself from
Yeah.
that discussion.
As a
I'll congratulate you on your
serious-
win, though.
as a serious one, like fair play to Canada, very well played. I'm not entirely sure I was unhappy with the pairings there. Yeah, I mean, I opted into the sick mirror match because thinking that we had the choice of initiative and it would actually make a difference. Turns out, who needs mods and just roll better anyway. But yeah, no, I actually thought that was a really good series of games, and yeah, we got some good pairings. Canada got some good pairings. Unfortunately, the coin flips that we put in didn't quite go our way for those. I am pleased they got to beat the Fast Spray though, because honestly, that one could have gone either way as well, and that was a good game.
I mean,
plus
you did-
Liam would not have forgiven me if I had lost to the bad version of Hidlist. So there we go.
Exactly.
Isn't it fun the way Group C turns in? Based on the fact that there's an Ireland player on this, an England player on this, and a Merc for Hire on this chat, that last week England was the enemy. This week Canada is the enemy.
Yep.
And next week Ireland will be the enemy.
Yep. It's good fun. It's good fun.
I
But
mean,
no, I
technically,
think
if you didn't take me for your team, you're an enemy. Just
Baron von Liechtenstein.
yes. But no, it was a really good series of games, and it's going to be curious to see if Canada can make it through to finals, because then we get to have some revenge times, which is going to be fun.
Well, Canada make it or Ireland make it.
Exactly.
Theoretically, Ireland and Canada make it.
True. I mean,
Don't you true me. If we're not upping the hot sauce bet.
26 game wins.
Yes. Your team are doing very well.
Anyway.
The anchor.
Anyway, so yeah, let's have a look at what happened this week. So clearly, Canada-England didn't go England's way, but some very hard-fought games. Really good ones on stream as well. I did enjoy watching some of those on stream. Where are we? Ireland, Philippines. That one was slightly squeaky bum time.
So, if nobody knows this, I played the last round on the Sunday,
Yep.
which is Mallers versus Sprays. Fully aware and having fully said I was under the bus. So I was at a wedding on Saturday. I saw the last score come up at 3-3, put the glass of wine down, drove home at 9 o'clock at night, started prepping at 6 a.m.
Yep.
So when you say squeaky bum time, Ireland were very on edge for that game.
Yeah. I mean, it's not an easy matchup. Dual sprays into whatever is tough. And
he flew everything perfectly. It came down to literally one turn.
it's a rough game. It's a really rough game, and was that one on stream?
No, no, he didn't want to. And in fairness, we were going to stream if we were 3-3, but then the times didn't work out.
Nah, that's fair.
But a very, very quick
it's
rundown
tough.
is he was doing the one in, one out, one in, one out.
Yeah.
And I called the one in, 5-4, blocked one ship with
Ooh.
the three back mullers, and then 5-4'd everything into the one in, and he couldn't get them out.
Yeah.
And he knew it the second he did it.
If you miss that one, then you lose the game, right? So it's tough. It's tough. No.
It's not one I want to repeat, to be honest.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think at the beginning of the week you were fretting quite a lot about the matchup itself.
Well, I was fairly certain it didn't matter, right? Because we were 3-0.
Yep, and then it all started coming
And
back.
that's like, fuck.
All started coming back.
All over like dominoes, and all of a sudden we're now the relevant match, which neither me or my opponent had any interest in being.
Well, we're gonna have. I think we're gonna have Super Saturday because game schedule wise. Oh no, it is more or less spread out over the weekend. So we've got 11 o'clock Friday, 10 o'clock Friday. Sorry, 11 in the morning Friday, 10 at night Friday. I'm starting at midnight Saturday. Tom's starting at 8 a.m. Sunday. Paul is 1 on Sunday, and Kez is 3 on Sunday. Don't know where Jules is yet, but
I'm content to call you the win on this, but they are. I mean, my opponent everything was perfect up until that turn.
Yeah,
it was a game of minutiae. He was very good.
Oh, I'm expecting them to be very, very good. I mean, there is a large Australian contingent, both coaching and some of them are playing, but the Filipino players themselves are also phenomenal. It's going to be good. I had a really interesting chat with Mr. Foss, Travis, after the pairings. He was just like, what do you think of those pairings? And I was like, well, I like them. And they were just like, well, we like them as well. So one of us is going to be right. And shout out to what Devon was saying in the chat as well, from Canada, is that they had it pegged as better than 4 wins, that they would have got over us. And it's like, yes, but what you have to understand in the team tournament is, have you got those understandings of those pairings correct? Because I'm sure that I will look at a game and think, oh, that's good for this list and good for that list, but maybe their player has played that 5-6 different times, and they know that their list, for whatever reason, because they've had the practice or because of the way that their list works, will beat yours when you think it shouldn't. So yeah, you always hope for good games, but I think one of the biggest things in this is, can you be certain that that game is good for you, as good for you as you think, if that makes sense?
Well, I will tell you this one, say both Ireland and Canada are currently big fans of the Philippines, huge supporters, waving Philippine flags in every single direction.
So first 7-0 week, yeah. We'll see.
The Philippines.
That
would be, to say the least. We would be talking about your game difference next week if that happened.
Yes, we would. What was that, Liam?
Oh, I was going to say that's one of the things about the XTC. It's not because it's a completely different format to your standard Swiss on a Saturday. It doesn't matter if you agree with the matchups, because sitting behind it, you've also got to take into account player skill, but also familiarity with the opponent. If you know what your shortfall is, there's a reason you've been thrown into that list.
And
never forget variants.
Yep,
direct hits do
happen.
happen.
Yep,
it can always happen. So yeah, it's interesting. But no, I'm feeling very confident against the Philippines. But hey, I was feeling confident against Canada. So we'll see. Colombia and Finland. Well, sorry, I'm looking at next week.
Yeah.
Apologies, Colombia and Wales. Haha. So is this where, Liam, you have to give Wales some credit?
So, I will come out now, and I won't apologise to Wales, but I will take a step back, because I didn't realise the captain of Wales had just had a cool second name, so I'm going to completely let him off. And all the heat now is on Ireland and England, because you could have taken me.
Yeah, that's fair. And also, like, credit, if you haven't watched the Sith Take a Snapshot with Steve and who is present captain of Scotland at the moment? It's
Oh,
Rory, isn't
crap.
it?
Yes.
Yeah, it is Rory. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, with Stephen Rory, that was great to listen to. Because you had all four home nation teams represented there, because obviously you got Rich and Tim on the Sith Takers,
Yep.
which was really cool. And I believe, hopefully, myself and Gary are going to be on this week if we can wrangle it. And obviously Liam was on last week, so we're getting around. We're getting around.
I mean, you don't need Gary.
I mean, yeah, but it's nice to get the captain on, right? It's nice to get the captain.
He's not even a playing
Hey,
captain.
we're being
saying.
distracted. But no, good job, Wales.
I'm not even engaging.
I'm holding up on this one because I believe in Wales. I think Wales is actually all right, and they've had a couple of unfortunates. I love Colombia, but I was expecting this to be a thing.
So in the short version, Finland mathematically capable of doing it.
Yes.
The 3-horse race we called from the very start is still a 3-horse race.
Yeah. And basically Finland-Croatia was the game to find out who could still be in the race.
Correct.
Finland just clinched it. I was expecting that one to be as close as it was. Both Finland and Croatia, great teams. So yeah, if we now have a look at standings for Group C. Oh boy. This is getting interesting. Obviously 4-1, still technically 4-1 for Canada, and 4-2 for Ireland, but Ireland go into the last 2 weeks playing both England and Canada,
we are.
So can
We're
obviously
still
upset
4-1.
it.
We're still 4-1.
Oh yeah, you're still 4-1. Oh sorry, yeah. Apologies.
Thank you very much.
So everyone's on 4-1.
Yeah.
And this is just going to be a big fat fustercluck at the end of the game. It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Yeah, huh? It's going to come down to game wins, or we're going to get trounced, and Canada and England are going to rise to the steam.
Someone's going to, like... Is it going to end? That? Yeah. Oh, no, it can't, because you play Canada and... Yeah, because if... Yeah, sorry. We made it difficult, didn't we?
Yes, our matchup sucks. Like, we've got Canada versus England. Our easiest way to get in is to 2-0. Our next way to win is to take the 0-1 from Canada and turn that into a 5-2 or 6-1.
Yeah, yeah. And at the moment, obviously, because you're playing Canada, if you win that, then you've got the head-to-head. So even if you draw, then you're still going through.
Yeah.
Because head-to-head is before MOV. So
we know exactly what the crack is. The reality is, Canada have an advantage. They're a game up. They're one set win above that up. Let's see what the rest of the week looks like.
Yes. Right. So that is Group C. So on to Group D for round 5. On to matches. Chile versus Spain. Spain continued their stompy stomp, which was kind of expected. Hello. So yeah, Spain continued stomping through the whole world at this point, essentially.
Yeah.
Hungary, Sweden. Where is that one? Where is Hungary, Sweden? Sweden, Chile, Spain, Malta, Hungary, Sweden.
5-2.
Sweden decided to come back and the God is back. The God is back in business, 5-2. So strong effort there. USA, congratulations, they beat the break. Good job, USA.
Who?
Who? Oh, sorry. What was it? South Canada?
South Canada or North Mexico. Either one works.
Whichever one. But no, shout out to USA.
Myself.
But I mean, I told Dave I wasn't going to be too mean this week. So let's. There we go.
I would apologize for getting involved in it, to be honest.
We love you, Vince. We love you, Vince. But yeah, in terms of this, shall we talk about the congratulations Australia moment? I suppose.
I'm going to get a drink on this one because Malta have contacted me about this, and I don't want to get involved.
Malta have contacted me about this as well. This is the spicy roundup. We don't take prisoners.
I'll let you spice up.
All right. No, we do take prisoners. I've been a little bit kind to people's feelings, only some of them. But yeah, shout out to Malta. Looked as if Malta was going to be able to do it, and then Australia snatched it away from them. And shout out to Nobby as well for playing what I can only describe as a me game, in which he finished on 0-0 and then won the final salvo like an absolute champion. So yes, good shot. And to be fair, I did actually want to talk about this. So I think it's really important to note that Malta were understandably frustrated at this game. Like, it's not nice to see someone running away and still getting the victory. However, I think it's very important to note, and this was the case when we still had the 4 Aztecs running around that were fortressing. If it isn't a valid win condition, then remove it from the game. I don't think this is an argument that the players should take on. I think this is an argument that the players should take to the judges and the game organisers. Is if you don't want final salvo to be a win condition, then don't have it in the game. Change it so that both players lose, or something similar. If you have a 0-0 game, then no one gets a point win. And I tell you what, people are going to engage then. But yeah, so I think that's something that if you feel strongly about that, then that needs to be dealt with. And to be fair to Nobby as well, Nobby has 3 A-Wings and Poe. That means that he has 3 dice, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he has 9 versus 8. You should not be chasing a 9 versus 8 final salvo, right? That is not a thing that you want to do. So realistically, taking that final salvo, probably the only way that he can win against the HMBs, because that's awful. That list, I love Dan, but I hate playing against the HMP list. So yeah, that's the summary of that one. The A-Wings had the final salvo advantage by 1 dice. So yeah, you don't go chasing that, and it wasn't a 0-0 in terms of damage. There was, I think, 3 shields done by the A-Wings and 2 shields done by the HMPs. Like, there was shooting. There was an attempt to win the game. Unfortunately, yeah, it's... With all of those side arcs, and especially with Poe has to spend the entire game running away. So, I've played that game. It hurts. I got my face kicked in by Dan. So, yeah, don't do it.
So, I'd just like to add that it's one of those games where, because of the way the HMPs fly, like, it's a lovely mechanic, and it is one of my favourite things about the ship itself. But it's because they assume, because I'm going to sit in this corner, you have to engage me. And as soon as you don't go by that game plan, it kind of feels a little harsh.
Ollie, is that reminiscent of any major last round of any event you can recall?
What are we?
Or big scary ships that fly in a way that keeps them within 15% of the map.
Oh yeah, but the Star Viper stall. I've already said my thoughts on the Star Viper stall. We've been over this 1,000,001 times. But
okay, sorry. I'm coming in late. I didn't really want to involve in this conversation.
No, sorry. That
HMP blocks upset me.
I didn't say anything about the Vipers in this one, because I love Mitch, and I think he invented a really good way to play that guarantees he gets a good engagement every time. Personally, as a player, it's not against the rules, so it's legal. That's the way that I will play the game. It doesn't matter whether or not I like it, because I have to be prepared for it. And I play at the top level of tournament games, so that's the opinion I take. If you ask me, should it be allowed in the game, that's another question. We can have a discussion about that. I'm not going to here, because I think that needs its own hour and a half segment. But I think if you have an issue with that, then you should take it to the game designers. That something needs to be changed in terms of how the game is played. Do you do what a couple of the American judges have taken into their own hands? Heaver and D both did this when they were judging, in that they basically said, I will be the arbiter on what is slow play and what is stalling. And I've come over here and you're still hiding in your corner. You are going to get a warning point. Go engage. That's fair play, as long as you let the players know that that's going to be the case beforehand. So, sure. Just go DQ players, and people are going to be sad, and you're going to lose a couple of players, and then it'll go away. But again, that needs to be a company decision. That isn't a judge decision, because I think, you need to. That's a game design question that you need to bring to the designers. So yeah, them's my thinks on it. I don't know if you guys felt you wanted to add anything to that, because it's
I
an
agree.
interesting
It's
discussion.
a tournament where Australia are getting their asses handed them, and I would take a win by absolutely every fucking method there that was legal at that point.
From a general standpoint, if it's not illegal, then you can do it. Like there's parts of games that everyone doesn't like, but there's some people that do. People don't like Boba, but people take him. It's one of the you may not like it, but it's allowed, so you have to deal with it.
Yeah.
In
And
my
if
eyes,
you're...
it's
Sorry, carry
you
on.
can't have everything in your favor.
Yeah.
As much as I don't like it, I will never play a game where I sit in a corner. That's not how I play. But you've got to be accepting there are people who are far more cautious on their engages.
I should point out that the A-Wings are not in the corner in this scenario. They're just refusing
No.
to commit to an engage.
Yeah.
But
Well,
the thing is, there
they
was also
shot.
damage done, which is
there were
important
shots
to the context.
happening.
There were shots taken, and they were always shooting from the rear. I am on your team in this one. You know I am.
No, it's important to clarify that.
But they
They're not just doing
they were
donuts.
not the ones in the corner.
Yeah.
They were the ones that were demanding to be chased.
Yes, in that game, it's essentially a stalemate, because if the A-Wings engage, it's always going to be a bad engagement for them. So the A-Wings have to spend the entire game running away.
There is
And
also
Malta.
the,
The HMPs in this scenario are going to refuse to engage because they don't want to engage A-Wings running away because it's bad for them. The A-Wings are going to refuse to engage because they don't want to joust the HMP, so it's a stalemate, and you've created a game design decision that has created that. So unless you like flipping a coin, then it's a bad idea.
And that's exactly right. So well done, Australia. Welcome back to the board. You're meant to break Spain or USA, not Malta, but that win's a win.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope I've avoided shitting on Malta because I like Dave. Dave's a lovely person, and I don't think this one is a case of dragging anyone's name through the mud. Unfortunately, Malta were just the first one that the Aussies decided to finally get their butts in gear for.
And both Dan and Nobby are both recognized names in the community. This was a clash of titans.
Yeah.
Both stuck to their game plan, and that's what it created. End of story in my mind.
Yes.
I would also like to congratulate Acticon for actually getting a win in the round as well.
Yeah.
He's one of the nicest people in X-Wing and a great player.
It's what renowned as one of the top 10 names in X-Wing, is not having the best event of his life.
Yeah.
It's fine. Because
it's nice that they haven't given up on the event either. They are still trying to get their wins, and they are adding to the experience. So that's all you can ask of someone.
Dave would like to point out that Actorcan lost, but moving on.
Oh, that's glorious. Right.
Oh dear.
So last thing to do is to have a look at the standings here. I think we've got some clear favourites. And it looks pretty sorted here. It seems.
It doesn't conclude ultimately until Hungary versus Spain next week.
No, because
so that is the only game left realistically. I mean, Sweden still can do the same thing, but if Hungary can beat Spain, the game is somewhat still alive. Sweden are facing Spain in the last round, so yes, there are 4 teams remaining, but I'm sticking with the initial prediction of USA and Spain.
I can't see the US losing on game difference. This is the problem here, is that technically the USA could be beaten by Malta, and technically they could be beaten by Australia. But in that situation, I can't see them losing on game difference.
Can I point out at the moment here that USA, who were dominating that game, and again, I know they're on a break, so I'm aware they get a -X there.
Yeah.
But if we go back to the conversation about Singapore's 24 being quite low, the USA, who were dominating everything, are 21, and if they won an average round, they'd be on 25.
Yeah, they would.
So Singapore, it's just the group that looks low in, because if you go through the rest of them down, Peru 27, England 26, and topping Group D currently 21.
Yes.
Topping Group E 19.
Yep. So this is where we get interesting, and I think it looks like the 2 teams below have a chance in Hungary and Sweden, but what you're missing is if you have a look at the games that Hungary and Sweden have to play. Hungary are playing Spain this week. Sweden are playing Spain next week. So Spain is actually doing USA a favour if they beat Hungary and Sweden, which they should. So I don't think the most likely chance that the USA have to fall flat on their faces, I think, is Sweden. If Sweden, because I rate Sweden over Hungary, I think if Sweden somehow managed to beat Spain and absolutely stomp all over Chile, I mean, there's a lot of things in there that seems like they're not going to happen, but it's worth noting. And
Have
then
faith in God.
And then the Aussies beat the USA as well.
Yeah, I was going to say,
There's a
that's
lot of
still
things
the
that need to happen
kingmaker.
here.
The Australians, I am 100% set, are now fighting to get national pride back on the table.
Yeah, they are.
And the best way to leave this tournament, even if you don't go through the finals, is to take the USA out in your way out.
Yes, for sure. For sure. So yeah, that's going to be fun. It's going to be an interesting one if that happens.
And yes, Spain is gatekeeper for the USA 100%, but that is the way this works.
I feel
Australia
like-
is now
Sorry,
your
carry on.
problem. No, my apologies.
I feel like this is the other group that's basically set. Group B and Group D. The irony is we thought they'd be the most interesting, but I think Group B and Group D ended up being the most boring.
Only because Peru went, you know what, fuckers? We're here to
Yeah,
play.
This is true. Like,
With their 1,714 points difference, beating every single other person in this tournament by about 400.
it's decent.
Oh, with the exception of England.
You're welcome.
Come on, Italy. Sorry, not
Yeah,
Italy.
yeah. There's
Apologies, Italy.
a couple there.
Yeah, I
Right.
think North Mexico will definitely come in second, but it will be close.
Yeah, no, the USA.
You
should
know what,
have this.
I don't need the Flying Mighty going completely mental on this Twitch chat.
Yeah, no, I
do.
what I do think I do think that the USA aren't going to be close. I think that it's going to be a very clear first and second in Group D.
We're still enjoying the underdog, Ollie, but
I know,
yeah.
but
I agree with you.
I'm being realistic.
I want Sweden to win.
Right, Group of Entropy.
Group of Entropy, indeed.
It really is the Group of Entropy at this point. I mean,
Now, I believe I get points for saying the exact phrase, France will wake up.
mm-hmm.
France have woken up.
Yes, boy, they have indeed. They have indeed.
Lost
so,
the first one, killed us all, and then kabamo.
yes. So France, Mexico, right? That was this week. That was this week just gone. Where is France, Mexico? 6-1.
They get 6-1.
As Connor said, like, hello, we are here to play.
Yep.
And the other interesting one is Netherlands, Japan, because we weren't sure whether or not the Netherlands would continue sort of falling over. Where are they gone? There we are.
Problem
And
is,
that's
both those teams
a big deal.
face France before they finish.
Yeah. So, because Japan was looking real strong, and
Yep.
I think you poked the bear. The Netherlands have kind of gone, all right, boys, we need to do this, and have really turned it around this week.
We were really wondering where the hell you were.
Yep. So yeah, second route. Let's just do the others because the Swiss had a break, so we get no Swiss people just stomping kids and breaking dreams. This week.
Serbia got a break, right?
Sorry,
got a break.
I'm looking at the wrong one. Yeah, Serbia got the break, so it's Switzerland versus Denmark.
These were some
And
pretty well fought fights, to be honest.
They really were. The Danes came out swinging, 5-2 in the end, but oof. Yeah. So yeah, the Swiss have a break this week. Let's have a look at standings because this is fun. So the games for this week, just before we get on to standings. France play Netherlands. Oh boy, that's going to be good.
France are 1-0.
Yeah. Japan play Mexico. Serbia play Denmark. I think that should be some good games. I'm not sure on Japan Mexico. We'll see.
I expect Japan to win that because they do have a solid team that is under the guise of Japan rather than actual USA.
There's some good Japanese players in there. And like Joe and Ravencat have lived in Japan for a very long time now. I know, yes, they're originally American, but
if they manage to get Japan interested in this game,
I mean, it might happen.
well,
There's
let's
been
say
a sorry.
the largest Magic event I ever played in outside of Japan was like I think it was at the 1200 out in San Diego.
Yeah,
In Japan, it was 108,000 player PTQ or something outrageous like that.
that's
When the
insane.
Japanese get involved, they take it very seriously.
Well, China's
I
now
mean, I
involved
would.
as well.
Again, big numbers,
Yeah.
very capable of showing up in large amounts, and
I would
skill
like to
floats.
highlight that wasn't me shitting on Japan. Japan are a very good side.
Yes.
It is just that they do have a very American heavy
Yeah, they do.
roster.
Well, there's four American, three Japanese, right?
Yeah, it is.
Nationals. I mean,
And we have been calling them the Little America for 4 weeks now. This is the fifth, and it's kind of true. Like there is a large American showing in Japan, but then like the UK cheats, and yes, Gary, I said the UK. Ireland's there too, but the UK cheats by having technically 4 teams every year, and then last couple of years there was Ireland on its own as well, so it's 5 teams from one area of the world, which seemed a little bit cheaty. But
yeah. To make that one clear, out of the Ireland team, which is 7 players, 2 subs, and a captain, we have 2 resident members of the Republic. No, 1 resident member of the Republic, 2 members of the Republic living in England. The rest are Northern Irish.
yes, so it's
So
a
UK fits.
UK fits. UK fits. But the both for Nick and for Cormac, they were making up the standard Irish team previously as well. Have I got that correct?
They are both
Yes.
born in the Republic.
Yeah, absolutely. But yes. Yeah, we covered it all, Michael. We know. Right, there was a Brexit thing that we had to deal with. No, Nick is definitely Welsh. He just pretends he's Irish. Right, where are we? So standings are interesting because so France is technically 4-0, I think, at the moment. They've had the break, didn't they? So yeah, France is 4-0. Is that right, or France lost?
No,
one?
France are 3-1.
France are 3-1, but they're one
currently
game up.
1-0 up in their.
Yeah, this
series.
is where challenge is hard. Tell you what, let's do this on here instead. Let's do this on here. Let's get TTT up and go for Group E, because for once, if you're doing it at the end of the week, it's fine. If you're doing it midweek, it's a bit more tricky. So let me just do this. There we go.
That is a beautiful picture.
It is great.
So nice
isn't
to
it?
look at.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Kiss.
It's the fact that my name is spelled correctly is honestly just warming to the heart.
Yeah, it's a shame with the text that you can't really tell. Right, team ladder, here we go.
At least I don't have to pretend my nickname is Spicy anymore.
Cool. So, yeah, look at that. Team wins 4 for France. Looks to be correct.
I think that's still taking into account the fact they're 1-0 in the series.
Maybe.
Because they are 1-0 in the series against the Netherlands.
Alright, let's take it back to...
Anybody in France like to jump in at this point in time and correct us? That would be great.
It's fine. We can check it. Matches France this week are... Where's the France game?
I mean, Serbia beat them 5-2.
There
That
we go.
was the first round.
France are 1 up against Netherlands. So Netherlands have 1 less win than they should, and France have 1 more win. So France are 3-1. Switzerland are on a break, but are actually 3-2 because they haven't had their break yet. Denmark 3-3. That's cheating, I think.
No, Denmark are also not 3-3. Denmark are currently 2-3 with 1 up on
Denmark
Serbia.
are 2-3. Japan are 2-2 because they haven't played any games yet. Netherlands are 2-2. And Serbia are 2-3. Yes. So Mexico is definitely gone. Serbia are definitely gone. But Serbia play Switzerland. They can affect things. Serbia play Switzerland and Denmark. So, yeah, I don't think that... I don't know. It's still a group of entropy. Still a group of entropy. I think the issue that we've got is the Danes haven't had their break yet, so I think the Danes are probably done. Because they can't get that final win. the Swiss are in a good position, but they have their break this week, so we'll see what happens. And the Swiss play Serbia next week, so I think what's going to happen is that Serbia have the opportunity to knock the Swiss out of the running. And
I do have to correct you here, Ollie, because he's quite right. Serbia are 2-2. They are not dead.
Serbia 2-2. Yeah, in which case Serbia are not dead. Yeah, so Serbia play Switzerland and Denmark. So yeah, in which case, yeah, this gets really interesting. So Serbia, Netherlands, Japan, and Switzerland are fighting for this one, I think. I feel like the Danish with their break next week, are they actually 3-3? Let's just check Denmark's present.
Denmark are 2-3, one up.
It is just nonsense. This group, what is this group? So
I think the best way to look at this group, or at least surmise it in an imaginary picture, is, do you ever watch Looney Tunes where
Yes.
you've got that big ball with arms flying out everywhere?
yes, and stars.
Except-
yeah,
Yeah, so that is taking place in a bar, and sitting on a bar stool watching is now Mexico.
yeah. Mexico's just sitting there with like the big throbbing lump on the top of its head, going, "All right, guys, I'm out.
With some peas.
But the best
Yeah.
part of this is, guys, this could be the only round we talk about next week as the deciding matches.
Yeah,
Because after 6, we could have a multiple locked-in series.
we might do, but the Group of Entropy feels like it's going to go to the final whistle because France, Japan, Netherlands are going to need to smash Mexico upside to get a load of individual wins because they're looking okay. They're on 17.
Yeah, they are.
They're not a long way behind. So if Netherlands, again, Mexico being on the side of this bar stool, if they pick up a baseball bat and wander back into the fray, like, and get a 4-3, or even just beat the Netherlands, like, yeah.
Let's be fair with this. The points difference is all positive except Mexico, but Japan have only 12 set wins.
Yes. So Japan.
The rest are 16, 16, 17, 18, and 19. This is a 5-horse race.
Yes. But Japan play Mexico this week.
But Japan doesn't. I mean, they will have to get a huge lead. They need to make a forward gap up to begin with. So even if they manage to win everything and everybody ends up on 4-3, and that's the scenario, they're going to have a horrendous time getting the game difference. They're out.
Can Japan get a 4-2 and the others end up on 3-3? Because the Swiss, the Danes, and Serbs and the Dutch would all have to lose. So the Netherlands would have to get... If Netherlands get beaten by France this week, the Serbs beat the Danes this week, and then the Swiss beat the Serbs next week. No, because then the Swiss end up on 5-2 and way ahead. So the Serbs have got to beat the Swiss next week. So the Danes have got to beat the Serbs this week, and then Denmark got their break. No, it can't happen. It can't happen. So what has to happen is, because the Danes have a break coming up, is that Japan need to win both of their rounds. They need to beat France, because that will give them the game difference they need.
Yes, and they need to crucify Mexico.
Yeah, they do. So Japan need to stomp all over Mexico's face. Same thing with the Netherlands. If the Netherlands stomp all over Mexico, then that gets them up there in game wins. Ooh. Turns out, Mexico is not so much in the corner. Mexico is in the corner with everyone closing in on them, going, "Oh, come on, buddy, come into my corner."
So I think we've called every other round.
Yep.
I'm gonna call France, as I called France from the outset. I'm not going to back away from that. I also, and I hate to say I'm calling 1 and 2, I also called Switzerland. You guys were pro Netherlands, I wasn't anti, but I'm going to go France, Switzerland, go through.
I was France, Netherlands, but I always wanted Switzerland to do well, but that's just because of Fabi.
Yeah.
But it's just nice to know they're in the position to still go through, because they've got their break this week, they've still got a game to win.
Yeah.
You just called me Conan.
And
not having your point.
Yeah, Elred from the French team as well, is that if France beat the Netherlands this week, the French kick the Netherlands out of the tournament, because there is going to be one team that makes it on X and 2. I feel like out of all of this bunch, there are so many people. This is basically now it's turned into a system open that as long as you only have 2 losses, you're probably through. But yeah, So yeah, if the French beat the Netherlands, then Netherlands are through. If the Netherlands beat France, then France are dragged down to everyone else's level and fighting for the X and twos.
With an 18 out of 19 top.
Yes, but again, if they lose this week, Netherlands are going to jump them.
You should point out Switzerland's on their break this week,
Uh-huh.
and they're currently leading the table on win rate,
Yep.
with France having picked up a win and Denmark having picked up a win.
Oh,
So on a realistic position, Switzerland are 2 ahead of the next leader and 3 of the one behind that.
Yeah. Netta, we decided to not talk about fantasy scenarios that were never going to happen, so you're welcome. Oh dear. No, there is a possibility of Finland getting out, but yeah, to be fair, we did actually talk quite a bit about how Finland beating Croatia meant that they were still in the fight. So
they could have done the honourable fucking thing and lost us and let us go into the last 2 rounds against these bloody monsters.
Yeah. So no, the fact that Finland's did beat Croatia, that means they are still in the fight. So Finland are still there, and Croatia have just slipped down into not being possible, I think. So yeah, Group E is going to be an entertaining one. I think Group E is going to be, as you say, the one that we're paying attention to in the final week because the other ones are going to be sorted. Just before we...
Fabian saying... Sorry, to close off and then I will pass back. Fabian, you're not that far ahead of everyone else, but this is a group of margins.
It is.
Where one win is probably going to make a difference.
It is. And it will be interesting to see whether or not the break is going to be helpful or detrimental to Switzerland, because they put themselves in a good position, but they're missing a week now, and yeah, it's is it going to be one way you need to get those wins? Don't know. Right. So I think what's going to be super cool, just to finish off, is shall we work out which the scariest group is?
Any context now, Ollie?
So I think we should do 2.
Okay.
We should do the actual group of death, which is the hardest group to get out of, based on what we know now in week 5. And we should do the highest quality overall. So the group with the shortest tail, so that they are just scary all the way through, versus the one with the real big boys at the top end.
Well, if we go ladder back, Group D should be the strongest overall.
Should be or is?
Should be. I'm not convinced is, but should be. Because Australia is tail of that.
I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring and say that I think Group E is the best quality group overall.
Okay.
This is definitely the hardest group to get out of, 100%, because it's anyone's.
But that doesn't make sense, right? That doesn't make it the hardest group to get out of.
I think if you put any of these teams, maybe even Mexico, if you put any of these teams into an easier group, say for example you chucked them into Group B, would they be fighting to get out? Because I think they would.
B.
Peru, Germany. Because I think any of these teams could
B
take
B wasn't even close to me for any of this.
Yeah. I feel like if you put any of, like, down to Serbia, maybe not Mexico, but certainly down to Serbia, any of these teams could take a win off a struggling Germany.
Yeah, okay. I actually don't disagree with the word of that.
And they could probably beat Peru as well, like if they showed up. So
well, we just don't know, do we?
No, we don't. But this is my feeling, is that if you put any of these guys all the way down to Serbia into that group, then that would be fine. Whereas if you have a look at Group D, yeah, absolutely, you put Spain and the USA in, then they just stomp on people. And Sweden is probably there, maybe.
But so's Hungary. I can't that's it. You can't disregard Malta or Australia either on any given day. If Australia were top of this group, we wouldn't be super surprised.
No, but I think based on and this is where I think it's interesting, because we already had a look and said, all right, Group D is the group of death. But after 5 weeks, I really don't think so.
No,
We've all
again,
got
I didn't sign off for
Chile
D
as
for
well.
death at all. But
I mean, Chile aren't a bad outfit, and yet here they are near the bottom just because they are in a really, really tough group.
Yeah, true. I think we cannot say that C is any form of group of death. I think the quality's been alright, but I think there's a definite top end to it.
we called
Yeah.
a 3-horse race. We've kept a 3-horse race, and we called the 2 that would be chasing.
Hmm.
We give Croatia an outside chance. We did think the 2 bottom teams there would be the 2 bottom teams there.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I think Group B is so. What my opinion of it would be is that the group that is hardest to get out of is Group A, but the best quality group is Group E.
Yeah.
Because if the Netherlands hadn't had a slow start, then I think we wouldn't really be having this conversation in Group E.
So let's rewind back to week 1, right? Very briefly.
Mhm.
We called Italy, Poland as a guarantee for A.
Yes.
We've been proven wrong.
Yes.
We called Germany, and then all 3 of us called different names
Yes.
for the next place out. Now, I'd love to rewind back, but I do think Peru featured in that. Group C has happened exactly as we called it. The top 3, with the exception of England losing a round.
I think you've got to be fair to Canada here.
Yeah, with the exception of England losing a round.
Yeah.
Which, in fairness, is well done, Canada. The 3 teams that are currently top are the 3 teams we expected to be the top.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
I mean, I said from day 1, I did not want Canada to run into my fucking pod.
Yes.
And they are likely the ones to put me out.
Yes.
Group D, we've called it almost entirely. Spain, USA, and Sweden.
Yep.
The only thing that has come as a surprise to anybody is Australia.
Yeah, we were expecting Australia to step above Sweden and Hungary into the 3rd spot.
Yep. And that leaves us with Group E, where again, it's France at number 1, Switzerland currently at number 2.
I was expecting a stomp from the Netherlands and France in this.
And I didn't agree with you on Netherlands. So currently I'm holding hard on that one. I always automatically I assumed France would be number 1.
Yeah.
Because the talent of every French player I've ever played in the last top 32 or whatever is always extremely high.
The French are good. It's
They're
funny,
quieter.
I've played more of the Dutch than I have the French, which is weird.
I played a lot of
French.
the French and
French.
ironically the French Canadians, and they're some of the quieter French people I've ever met, but they're always exceedingly technically good.
Yep.
And those are the names that are currently in that team.
I'm just going to mention Van Langelang, if you're wondering why the Netherlands are strong.
Yeah, they have an exceedingly talented technical player, no question of it.
So, the French just went 2-0 up on the Netherlands.
Yeah, so we see.
Yeah, so we'll see. But I think going back to what I've mentioned in previous weeks, there are some surprises in this tournament. Netherlands are one, Australia are another, and I think Peru are the happy surprise.
Yep. Singapore as well, I'd say.
Yeah.
Less of a surprise, but still a
No, I
big
think
surprise.
that's fair. That's fair to say because Poland sitting currently in 3rd, fighting for survival, is not what we expected
Yeah,
to see.
this we expected. This we didn't expect. I was expecting Singapore to be fighting whoever was in 2nd place. I did not expect Singapore to end up on top, so it's good to see. Right, I think is that basically it? Is that the end?
I think in essence we are. We can run through next week though, if you'd like.
Yeah, let's do a little.
I love the way he says
feel
that.
like-
He says that really cheerfully. Clearly, the man's got somewhere to go.
Well, there is going to be some food soon, and I should.
Okay,
Well,
I'm
I should really
let me do the quick run through. Italy, Singapore.
1 second. Let me grab it up so that everyone can see. Boop.
And let me just reply to Gary. I think we've only offended Vince again, and it was just me. I don't think
Yeah,
we've
it's
offended
just
anyone
Liam and
else.
international
I'm
incidents.
fairly sure that we've probably offended a lot of people. It's fine.
I will take full responsibility. for
Games-
all-
Singapore was always good peeps is not in question. It's whether or not they were better than Poland and Italy.
Games to watch in Group A: Italy, Singapore, and nothing else.
Anybody want to call that? Anybody?
I think
I
Italy.
want Singapore.
I'm gonna stick with Singapore. I love a fucking clean sweep, and they're currently doing it.
I am. I am sitting behind Italy in Group A. I think Italy are going to win, and we're going to have a big fight for who comes in second.
Okay.
I actually think that this may be now Italy, Singapore, first and second.
Okay.
Imagine if Greece decide to win a round now.
I swear to God, I generally think you'd be able to hear Bartosz from your bedroom.
They can't do him like that. They can't do him. Right. Germany,
Imagine.
Iceland. Could this actually be a one to watch? Because Iceland
again are a surprisingly good team with inconsistent play.
Yeah.
Any given Sunday, Iceland can win.
I think if you're going to watch one this round, it should be Lithuania, South Africa. I think that's going to be a good series of games.
Where you get to walk into their 6-0.
Yep.
Republic of South Africa will then entertain us with their amazing paintwork. So, Group C, Canada, Ireland. I'm not calling it.
Oh, you should. Yeah, you should watch Canada, Ireland. Colombia, Finland.
Should I watch it?
I mean, you definitely should. You should pay attention.
It is literally not streamed in any of the matches.
I know. I want to see Wales, Croatia. I think that could be good.
Ollie, who's winning Ireland, Canada? Come on.
I think Canada, because of your subs.
Well, we used to be friends. Liam?
I'm going to say Ireland because Ollie didn't take me for Team England.
There it is.
Yeah, I'm not calling it, funnily enough. We are all hoping Philippines will kick England's ass in order to give Ireland and Canada both a chance to go into the sunset together.
Correct. But no, I think if anyone didn't know, Ireland does have 2 subs for this next round.
We do.
I'm curious to see what happens there. I think
Cormac Higgins stepping out is not great, and I really hope Simon can fill his boots, but you're taking a solid Republic player versus a guy who's got days to pick the list up.
Yeah. I wouldn't be calling it if it was the full team. I don't know. I've had a look at those pairings and they look even, so I'm curious.
Yeah, it's going to be a fight. We lost the first one. Nick put up a really solid effort. It might have been the coin flip game. It might be the deciding game, but I don't know. We're behind. So
right.
We got mountains to climb. Let's climb them.
Chile, Sweden. That should be fun, but I think Sweden are going to take it. Hungary, Spain. Sorry, Hungary. Malta, USA.
Oh, don't even dare. Don't even dare. Okay, you guys go USA. I'll go Malta.
We dreamed a dream.
Australia will win their first uncontested match without any conflict.
Correct. And, oh man, France, Netherlands. Watch that. And Serbia, Denmark. Serbia, Denmark's going to be good.
France, Netherlands is the decider of Entropy. If France beat the Netherlands, they are, and I'm going to go France on this one, but they are 2-0 up, which makes that a little bit of an easy call.
That's fair. But yeah, France beat the Netherlands. Netherlands are done. Netherlands are not making it through. And
I'm going France, Switzerland, but I'm staying with France, Switzerland anyway.
Yeah. Hey. The break is now finally in its rightful place.
It's finally at the bottom of the table.
It took a while.
It took 6 weeks or 5 weeks, but it's finally there.
It took a while. Sorry, Dave, it took Malta. But finally.
No, it's Australia.
Yeah, but Australia beat Malta.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think Malta's death to allow that to happen.
Oh no. It couldn't be a thing, could it? Imagine if it came to the final round and Australia did actually get beaten by the bye.
Would that put a
Ukraine
universal
and
ban on
Greece.
Afghan entering any tournament?
Ukraine, Colombia, and Greece could all currently be there.
Yes. No, Anyway, I think that's that for the week though. As I need to go.
There's a possibility Ollie's fiance is calling him.
No, but I actually care and would like to help out with both dinner and packing and stuff. I have been on holiday for a few days, which is why this is delayed. But regardless, I think we're eventually going to be played out by the Old Republic. But in the meantime, where is it? I need to find it. We need to find it. 1
Our
second.
producer is unfortunately a rabbit, which is what causes the problems with these
There we
things.
go. I found it. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. So I think this is going to play us out. So have yourself a very, very good week. And the small matter of the forfeit, that is going to be, as I said at the start, in about a week and a half's time, probably. So yeah, this is me, or my anus, whichever you prefer. Hey, have a good week, people. See you
My
soon.
anus is fine, by the way, for anybody wondering. It's lovely.
Uranus. See you guys soon. Oh dear.
Toodles.